So this is a new series I'm starting called Overanalyzing Music, and it's every episode is gonna have a different song, and I'm going to overanalyze it. So they're kind of inspired by there's these channels on YouTube that they take art, paintings, drawings, whatever, usually like 14th, 15th, and 16th century art, and they like go really in depth about it. The one that's coming to mind is one about the Sistine Chapel, the painting that's, I think, about the second coming of Christ, or the Judgment Day, whatever. What was it called again? I'll link the YouTube channel because it's a really cool channel. You should check it out. It's kind of the inspiration for this. So I'm gonna be listening to songs and kind of going really in depth about what we're hearing. Music is built with signifying things, or in other words, signifiers, which means that everything is kind of representative of something. And this is, I'm being very vague because I don't want to get too detail oriented, but something like, a belted note, like a nicely sung belted note slowly descending into like a nice metal, just guttural scream. Like that's a signifier of, anger, something resulting in anger, right? So it's going to be something like that. Now, I'm going to be pausing and talking while listening to the song. This is not like a react kind of thing. This is not one of those videos where I'm listening for the first time. This is going to be songs that I've listened to a whole bunch of times and have something to say about them. So if you're looking for like some kind of initial opinion of the song, yeah, that's not what this is. But if you're looking for something where it's like, I'm into music and I want to know more about like how to listen to music, right? I could only speak for myself, but I was never really taught how to listen to music. I was only just shown music, and no one ever says how to do that. Meanwhile, when it comes to paintings, like you're taught how to look at a painting because it seems easier to grasp, right? Because you're looking at something physical, and obviously music is entirely, in our brains and in the air and whatever. You can't actually see anything. So this is about how to listen to music. And of course, I'm going to be kind of like, I don't know, nerdy about it and get really in depth. But it's fun for me. So hopefully it's fun for you too. If you want to be super casual about this, again, just come through the song with me. I'm going to be pausing and speaking and then playing so the audio goes, so I'm not speaking over the song. And then after that, go and listen to the song again, this time listening with the things I said. And then every time you listen to music, you catch something new, right? So it's always good to, after I do a whole bunch of pausing and playing, go listen to it again, just fully through. If you want to do this the real way, listen to the song Absolomb by Periphery. Come back to this video after you watch it. Listen through it with me. We're going to talk about it. And then listen to it again, right? So you get your initial judgment of the song, or if you already have heard the song, you just get, a good review on what this song is. Then you'll come through it with me, where we'll kind of study it, again, overanalyze it, right? That's the titular idea. And then after that, go listen to it again, because now you have your own concepts of the song paired with what I have to say about the song, and together it'll be a really nice listening experience. So we're going to be listening to Periphery, specifically Absolomb, which is off of their third album, which I believe came out in 2016. And maybe if I'm wrong about that, I'll put a little something here to fact check me. This is just going to be the format of the video. I have the music will also be right here. I'm not really going to do like live performances of the song, but if there's a music video that's attached with the song, I'll do the music video. But with that, it's a little bit of a gray area because I won't really comment on the music video. That's its own thing, right? That deserves its own video, where I would analyze that. So I just comment on the music. But they don't have a music video for this one, so it'll just be the song. So let's get started. We're gonna have my little moose listen along with us. I think my moose will enjoy listening to some Periphery. Before we get into it, I'm listening on the Sennheiser Let's see if it's gonna come through. HD 600s. I got them on sale during like a Prime Day event, like I don't know, 2 years ago. They are like $500 headphones that I only paid half the price for. They are just amazing, and they work a little bit better when you have preamp and a DAC. I have these from Shit Audio, based in Texas. Never been there, but if I go, maybe I'll check out their warehouse. So I've got some good equipment that I'm listening on, which helps out a lot. So Instant Stank Phase. I don't know if you know this song or not. If you do, you know the beginning riff is just absolutely diabolically nasty. And one cool thing about it is that the way it carries out, and this goes for a lot of gent or just really just progressive metal songs, the riffs carry out across the measure, right? We think of a Metallica riff, we just like doom doo 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 doom 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 doo 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 doom doo doom. A simple, just like one measure, two measures if it's double time or whatever. But progressive metal riffs and gent riffs, we're just getting the circle of doom, aren't we? Are usually carried out over measures with these what I call cells, and these are these repeating cells that cause it to carry out across a measure. So the riffs are not measured by measures; they're measured in time, which is something very unique to the genre. All right, let's see. Hopefully this okay. So again, like I said, music has signifiers and everything. And one of the things when I'm listening, I'm asking myself, okay, we had the bass start, we had the drums start, and the drums filled into like the beginning of the next riff cycle, which then introduced that clean guitar sound, which is ringing out. And so then I just asked myself, okay, what does that clean guitar, what is that signifying? Is it signifying confusion? Is it signifying something that is bound to happen, like inevitability? There's some mysticism here. So just something to keep in mind as we listen through that. So there we just ended a cycle. We're 32 seconds into the song, and I think we've only completed two. I wasn't really keeping track, but I think we've only completed two riff cycles. And when I say cycles, I just mean the beginning of the riff to the end of the riff. We've only completed two. So this is a long riff. This is what I'm saying. It transcends measures. If you're musically proficient and you know what a measure is, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, don't worry about it. But it's transcending those measures, those bar lines. We can't really measure it through measures. I think I've said that right. It's measured in time. Again, it's just so awesome. So 32 seconds. Each one's maybe about 15 seconds. Let's see. So the next cycle, I think, introduces the vocals. Should be at about 47 seconds if these are 15-second cycles. Let's see. Also, the guitar that you're about to hear, just an awesome use of palm muting, regular muting where you actually just cover the fretboard, you get those clicks like if we're using drum speak, the riff kind of sounds like doom ga 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 doom. Brutal, dude. Absolutely brutal. All right. Listen really hard for those scrapes, the chicks. Again, thinking about signifiers. Where is he in his range? It seems like he's actually a little high in the range, right? Well, he starts a little low and he builds his way up through the range. Why? What does that mean? Is he getting to this moment of release? Is he trying to express something through that. Also, the guitars are no longer doing those checks, or what do you want to call them? I've called them like four different things, just so you could relate with what I'm saying with at least one of them. Are they still doing the scrapes, checks, whatever you want to call them? No, they're not. They're just palm muting open strings. Again, why? Why did we change that? Maybe so that we could take away from listening to the guitar and put the vocals forward. Anytime you hear harmonies, ask yourself, why? Why do we hear harmonies? There are now two voices when there's only supposed to be one. Or I shouldn't say there's supposed to be, but there's been one voice thus far. Now there's two. Is that an extra person? Is that the internal dialogue of the person singing? Is that like, what is that representative of? Again, two voices. We're actually pretty low in this register. I want to pause it before he gets to the note he belts. Again, same thing. Whenever we have an entrance of another voice, what does that mean? We always have to ask that. When we get to a new section, what are our new signifiers? Or what are our new things to pay attention to? The vocal line drags out, right? The notes are lasting longer, especially in the guitar and the drums. All the notes are lasting longer. Are we supposed to feel some kind of shift in time? Are we supposed to feel like there's a release of tension, or are we supposed to feel that there's more tension? It's leading somewhere, right? Let's see. So that he belts or 8 beats, really. Maybe he finishes on the 9th beat. Again, so what is it that he's trying to, portray? He's saying, without your love, and he lingers on that word love while he's belting it, the highest note we've heard so far. It goes right into guitar solo. Again, guitar solos always signifiers of something, right? A break in time, a break in the section, a transition into something new. That belting note is a release, but it's also not necessarily a good release, right? It's like a release of frustration. Let's keep going. Feel the meter shift. I should say the strong beat shift. Back in his lower register. And he's speaking now. Less so singing, more so speaking, right? So why? He wants to get this message out. I gotta pause it, because he's trying to get this message out by speaking, right? Because not a little singing anymore, except for right now where I pause it. He's hitting those high notes. But he's trying to convey a message, all right? He said, all right, listen to what I have to say really quick. Like, I'm trying to get this all out. And the guitars too, just absolutely just, they're, drumming away, playing some pretty complicated riffs. The next part, I'm going to say this before it comes. The next part, there's right now this section is a little chaotic. The voice is going really fast. The guitar parts are going really fast. The drums are doing their own thing. There's a lot going on. And then it comes to this moment where all of the instruments play the same exact thing. Why? Again, the question is always why. So when they come to this moment of syncrecy. Is that the word? Synchronize? Yeah, synchronization. There we go. When they come to this moment of synchronization, the music is telling you to really listen to that motif or to that gesture, to that riff. There's something important in that unity. I just noticed this for the first time. When will we meet again? Boom! Then they go into that unison part. They all meet each other and play the same thing. And then he says, while that's happening, he says, I'll be waiting. Waiting for what? The next time we meet again. So he says, I'll be waiting. And then they separate and they don't play the same part anymore. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler. I'll be waiting when we meet again at the end of the song. There's a breakdown at the end where all the parts have a unison. But that's an amazing word painting right there, because that is just awesome. Beyond the edge forever flows, and now time stops again. So I think I said something about time at the beginning, right? Didn't I? I forget now what I was saying. But he just said time stops again, and it goes back to the beginning riff. So it is signifying time in a way, like this tension in time. Maybe not necessarily a break in time, but a tension in time, whatever that may be. I love that. Revelation is the word, and then guitar solo. Again, guitar solos are always signifying something. So I think in this moment, the guitar solo is signifying that revelation, right? That like eureka moment. The guitars are already genting, if you will, but they're gonna add in those like color chords now. So they're just doing like the basic palm muting rhythm with just I don't actually know how to play the song, but I never looked into it. I'm assuming it's just power chords, but now they're gonna get those like nasty, just like the crunch chords that play on top of the power chords, and we always have to ask ourselves, okay, why is the guitar part trying to have this almost like a conflict between the lower register and high register? So now what we're going to notice is that those palm muted parts are on the low register, and the ringing parts or the parts where the strings vibrate, we actually hear something coming from the guitars other than just like some palm muted strums, are these crunchy chords, right? These very dissonant chords. So just listen really carefully for that in the guitar. Again, another change in feel. Why is there a change in feel? Why do they want us to feel a shift in the beat that we're feeling? Also, again, so now I've heard that the palm muting parts were the power chords, and the ringing parts were those crunch chords, are just the upper voices of the chord. I'm sure they're just holding down chord shapes. Just awesome stuff. And again, change of feel. What do you feel in that change of feel? Do you now interpret the lyrics in a different way because you have that shift in feeling? And then we're going to get an orchestral part that comes for a second. That more so has to do with the album. It ties this song into the album as a whole, so not much we could really do with it in this song. But that would be a commentary for like an album listen through. to like a chorus section, if you want to call it that. Maybe it's the pre-chorus. Here's that orchestra part I was talking about. Same thing. It's just they want you to really ingrain into your mind this melody. Notice that he's singing over the initial rhythm right now. Boom, 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 boom. No, I shouldn't say the initial rhythm, but a rhythm we've heard earlier in the song. So a rhythm we already heard has reappeared. I think it was for the guitar solo section in the chorus. I'm gonna pause here because he's gonna do the belt again. This is the first time that we're getting his scream. Again, not only when you have another voice come in, are you supposed to ask what is it signifying, but when you have a change in the timbre of the voice. So we're going from a clean singing to a distorted scream. Again, is that frustration? Is that tension? Is that hope? Maybe you could scream in hope. Excitement. And notice I said, what was it that he said? I don't want to really go back, but he said something about meeting again or something. I hope we meet again. I don't know. I don't really remember now, but it's kind of interesting because the guitar parts and the bass part are now going to meet up, if you will, for the breakdown, which is sick. So just enjoy this scream that he's about to let out, and let's just enjoy the first parts of breakdown. It's not necessarily a breakdown, but maybe it is. I don't know. Notice again, the actual bass part and the lower strings part of the guitar is just there for palm muting purposes, and the part that you hear as the actual like harmonic part is what's driving the rhythm forward. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but the palm mutes are lining up with the bass drum, right, the kick drum, and it's lining up with the bass part, and those higher harmonic, the actual chord part, if you will, of the guitar part is the part that we're hearing really well. So as you're listening, try and catch both of the parts, and this is where like listening to the song twice helps, because you listen through once and you say, I'm just going to listen to those like palm muted parts, and then on a second playthrough you just say, I'm going to ignore the palm muted parts, I'm just going to listen to the like open ringing strings parts. I shouldn't say open, but like the ringing and vibrating strings parts. And then we also have to point out that this is a conflict. This song is setting up some kind of conflict of trying to meet again. So there's this, it's almost ironic or oxymoronic. I don't really know what this is. It's conflicting because the bass, the drums, and the guitar are lining up, but the guitar itself isn't even lining up because those palm muted parts are separate from the ringing higher parts of the chord. So there's like a conflict of and misalignment in the guitar, which is so epic, right? Because it's all about when will we meet again, and then they do, but not completely, right? And you might, if you didn't really know how to listen, you might skip over that, but now you're like, oh, that ending guitar part is misalignment, not togetherness. Yeah, it's kind of cool. then it plays out. It plays out into an orchestral part. I'll let it play as I speak. Like I said, the orchestral part is really just for it's for the album. It ties this song into the grander, like overarching musical theme that plays throughout the whole album, right? Because this comes back in the final song of the album. I gotta lower it a little bit so I could speak and talk, listen and talk at the same time. Oh. So like I said, the final breakdown riff, it's not that the palm muted parts and the, like, I'm gonna call them the screaming parts, the higher notes of the chord, the higher strings, the screaming parts, it's not that those don't align with the drums and the bass as well, it's that the guitar itself is misaligned. And there's something to be said about that, because the song is about trying to meet up again, and there's this hope that you could realign with someone else, with yourself, with a place, a thought, a memory, a feeling, and so there's this, it's like disguised, there's this alignment of everything, but hidden in that alignment is the conflict that's presented in the guitar. Again, like, if you didn't know how to listen or what to listen for, you might miss something like that. So let's let this piano part play out a little bit. Ooh, nice little deviation there. As I was going through editing this video, I realized something else that's like insanely interesting. So I'm gonna just kind of put the figure that I made here. It shows you the overall form of the song, and it follows a verse chorus form, right? Like a repeating verse chorus. And we already established that the narrative of the song is this, like, when will we meet again kind of thing. Hopefully we meet again. And it's cool because the verse and the chorus are these moments of the meeting that is being referred to. Like, when will we meet again? It's at that verse chorus. The verse chorus gets interrupted each time, right? There's the verse, the chorus, that's the meeting point, and then it gets interrupted. Then they meet again, gets interrupted. At the end, there is no more meeting again. So the verse chorus gets broken apart, and then there's that scream, right? He has the scream, and the verse and chorus never meet up again. So the actual form of the song ties into the narrative that's being told, which is just crazy. Again, for those of you that haven't heard the song before and that was your first time, congratulations. For those of you who have heard the song before but listened through it with me, go listen again by yourself and think about the things I said, and think deeper into it. And for those of you that listened and then caught this, did we line up? Did we misalign? See what I did there? Were there things that I missed? If there were things that I missed, please let me know. And now go listen to the song again, because now both of our ideas are going to create a different narrative now, which is the beauty of art. And of course, the things that I say are not truth. They're not objective. They are subjective. And second, there are some things I was realizing as I was listening and commenting, that the audio quality is probably going to be worse for you listening through this, because I'm listening on YouTube, streaming it through OBS, so I'm not sure whether the audio quality holds as well as just listening through. If the audio quality wasn't that great, I apologize for that, but do just go check it out on your own, and then those things that I mentioned should be pretty clear. Hope you enjoy. If there's a song that you'd like me to do this for, let me know. I have a whole bunch that I have planned up, so I'm going to get to those. But yeah, if there's one you want me to do this for and you enjoyed this, let me know, and I'll get right to it.